These are called Joseph wings.
Yes.
Joseph wings.
Wait, you have something important to say today.
Good morning. Good morning, Jeanette.
Good morning, you guys.
Man, this coffee's so good.
And happy Thursday. So, Boogie, your foot is shaking. Okay,
Boogie has something to say.
I will let you speak so then you can go back to your kana. Looks like he wants to fall asleep. Well,
What did he tell you he wanted to say?
today I had something that I wanted to add first. I wanted to tell you my strategy, why everywhere I go, I always get love, and why I know that when we do Mama's Retreat, my kissing booth is gonna be a big hit. Do you know why?
Yeah, Boogie's gonna have a kissing booth.
Do you know why?
Why, Boogie? What's the secret?
Because I have a good attitude. Always make sure I have a good attitude, and that's my strategy for getting love. And that's why everybody who sees me wants to give me a kiss, wants to give me a hug, and wants to give me food.
Also, because you're very cute.
But I'm even cuter because I have the right attitude.
You
Okay,
do
can I go
have-
now?
Boogie, give me 5. Give me 5. Give me 5.
Come on, do it. You're so close, Boogie. Come on, do it.
He's not in a good position.
Fine.
He's so sweet. Okay, good morning,
Boogie.
Erin and June Ellen and Lauren Koch in the house. What's up? And Crystal and Stacy and Sydney King.
Sydney King, that's a new name. Sydney, where are you from?
Isella, Andrea, Jeanette. Wow. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Lori, Boogie's the biggest man. I can't believe he went through 4 other owners who wouldn't want to. Seriously. You know why? It's because we were supposed to have him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's very grateful for his life that he has now.
Yeah, he's very grateful. So, Boogie's message was very powerful this morning, and Boogie's message is...
That's for to dominate lists. You see the squares?
Oh, yeah.
Here.
And...
I bought fancy new papers. They're sticky note tabs that have already squares. You know how many squares I write on my paper to make something like this? And you know what, by the way? It's not a to-do list, motherfucker. It's a to-dominate list.
Yes, queen.
We do not just do things. We dominate them.
And so do you. And if you call it to do, then start changing it to dominate.
To capital D-O.
Minate.
Minate.
So,
To dominate.
how did you title this? I
The
tell her the
3
topic and then she titles it.
The 3 A's to your success.
So what do you guys think are the 3 A's?
Apples.
Boogie already answered one. If you listen to Boogie's message, then you would
gave
know
one of them
that one of them...
I'm stealing your kissing booth idea. For your dog?
or for yourself. So
Or are you saying that at the retreat you want to be the one in the kissing booth? That's totally Boogie's booth. It was his idea.
Yep.
Oh, we have here attitude.
Wow.
Some people
You
were
guys
paying
pay good attention to Boogie.
Boogie, did you hear? They pay attention to. He's totally eating his hand. Hey, that's not breakfast.
Not yet.
That's not your breakfast, that's your paw.
Attitude, action, okay.
Attitude and action.
And what's the other one?
Amazingness, alignment, retreat. That does not start with an A, but I like where your head is at.
Appreciation, close,
Appreciation.
not quite. Not quite. Okay, let's answer that. So, the first one is attitude.
You got it.
So, when we...
Erin in the house with the third one.
No, it's not acceptance.
Read the last one.
Yeah, but somebody already said action. We already got action.
Oh.
I'm just going to start talking about the first two. So, as far as having the right attitude, right? I think that is the hardest one to gain, because so many people, look, the things that you tell yourself, you believe to be true. And that may not be the truth, right? So for example, I believe...
Tony Robbins calls that a limiting belief.
Yes. So I believe that a lot of people, yes, you could be a good human, but you can have a shitty attitude. Right? Like, you can be a very good human, but if you don't have the right attitude towards success, it doesn't matter how much you're helping others or whatnot. Like, your attitude for success is just not the right one. So what are some elements that are required in order to gain the right attitude for your success?
Can before we do that, can I tell you something that I think about attitude?
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this yesterday, and I'm like, oh, that's ironic how now is the perfect time to actually bring whatever insight I may have to offer on this subject of attitude. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes when we have a bad attitude, or we want to... I was thinking about why people are unhappy and why people like to be victims, and why it's so easy and natural for us to point out the things that are not going well or the things that we don't like. And I thought of yesterday, it's either one of two reasons. It's either because you want a pity party and you want to, like, everybody wants to feel important and cared about and special. And so if you don't have that in your life, then one of the easiest ways to get that is to try to throw a pity party by saying, woe is me, and this is, and that's your, by default, subconscious way of going about getting love or having people show care for you. I know, because I would do that many years ago. And then the other reason I think people want to throw a pity, or not a pity party, want to be the victim and have a bad attitude is because they're looking for an excuse to not do what they know they need to do because it's uncomfortable, and they'd rather have a legitimate excuse than push forward and get outside their comfort zone. All of that is under the attitude umbrella.
Mm-hmm. So those are just a few. Another one is ignorance, like ignoring the real issue, because you're more committed to the story that you tell yourself, mm-hmm. aka your limiting belief, than seeking out a way to come out of that. This is something that I see way too often. Right? Like women, I'm going to give you an example, and this might sound harsh. However, I don't care, because I'm here to speak the truth. And, like, let's say women who have Hashimoto's, right? They're like, I can't lose weight because I have Hashimoto's. That is such like a poor limiting belief that drives me nuts. For one, you have Hashimoto's because your thyroid just hates you because you crashed your metabolism from trying the wrong things. I'm not going to use that word because it's one of the three.
Hashimoto's too was not even a thing several years ago. Hashimoto's, nobody knew about it. Where did it come from?
Right. It's due to increased consumption of processed foods, and also like intentionally crashing your metabolism. going on a diet, saying that you're
Not intentionally,
doing well, and then starting to like cut out foods in your meals, right? And then your thyroid's like, I hate you because you're not giving me any food. I'm gonna start slowing things down.
And then they named it Hashimoto's, so now you have a problem.
Right.
It's not a problem.
Yes, Hashimoto's basically mean that your metabolism is shot.
Or
right?
autoimmune diseases that people have that don't need to be expressed had you had different lifestyle and dietary choices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So ignorance is one of them, right? Like ignoring what is the real problem. Like, why do I have Hashimoto's instead of I can't lose weight because I have Hashimoto's. Of course, with that level of attitude and lack of action, sure, you're not going to lose any weight because you're not even going to try, right? And you're already expecting to fail. So, of course, right?
We were talking with one of our mentors yesterday, Richie Dolan, who many of you watched probably the interview that Sarit did with him. If you didn't, it's epic. It's on YouTube. You got to watch it. But yesterday he was saying, you know, when we tell ourselves a story for long enough, doesn't matter what the story is, if we tell ourselves the same story and we're convinced, or over time we'll be convinced that that story is real, whether it's true or not. And it either becomes truth or it becomes a limiting belief, something that you believe to be true that is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just a quick recap with everything that we said so far. Yes, you can be a very good person and still have a shitty attitude. Like, just because you're a good person doesn't mean that you have the right attitude. Because, for one, like, having a good attitude means that you're not playing victim mentality. Woe is me, I have this, I can't do that. No, like, you're playing victim. Like, there's no pity party for you. Secondly, seeking out a pity party. Like, again, woe is me. And
also, does it ever make you feel better? When people are like, oh, hun, you're great. Does it ever make you feel better if you actually don't feel good about you on the inside?
No, however, unless you strive for greatness, or unless you could be striving for greatness but are unaware of it, because most people, not the ones watching this, if you're here, you know that you're meant for greatness, right? Like, most people are average and they seek out pity party because, like, it makes them feel better about themselves.
But it may be some people here, but the reason that we're bringing this into light is so that you can self-assess.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, like, we're here to make you better. All of you are good people. All of you are good people. But there are things that we do and there are behaviors that we have as humans that are holding us back. And our goal is to reach into you and pull out all of those behaviors that are holding you back and insert and replace with ones that are going to move you forward. And so that's our purpose behind every single video that we do, every live, every product, every service, everything. Right? So just keep in mind too, like, if any of this hits home for you, or you're like, shit, like, something hurts or stings, it might be because you can relate to it. And that's not us saying you're a bad person at all. That's us saying, like, just check yourself. We've had to do this too. We're not perfect. We still do this to ourselves.
We check ourselves every day.
It's self-assessment, right? Self-awareness. We made a post about it last night on our Instagram. One of the things that make people successful is constantly assessing yourself, your behavior, your attitude, your mindset, right? Okay, let's move forward.
The next one is impatience.
Wait. Next one, what? In regards to?
Attitude.
Okay.
Not having the right attitude.
Yes,
you're not patient. Right? Let's say you've done really well action-wise for 4 weeks and you expected to drop some weight. You stepped on the scale didn't nudge. You now have a pity party. Right?
Or you're defeated and you let the defeat beat you.
Yeah. It's because you're impatient. Like, good things happen to those who wait and those who persist.
Okay, I need to talk about defeat real quick. Because yesterday I had a moment where I felt defeated. And had I looked back to the Erin of a year ago, the whole situation would have gone way differently. But when you feel defeated, you have to ask yourself, am I going to sit in this pool of sadness and defeat and down? Or am I going to ask myself, like, if you ask yourself, did I do my best? Am I showing up? Am I learning from my mistakes? Then what did you actually do wrong that you legitimately have to feel defeated about? So yesterday I had to check myself, like, okay, yes, I'm feeling this. If I say all the time, if we didn't have, if we weren't supposed to feel emotions, we wouldn't have them. So any emotion that you feel is good. It's fine. It's neutral. You make of it what you want. Sad, happy, excited, defeated, whatever, right? But you have to ask yourself, how do I move forward? Why am I feeling this? How can I learn from it? And then let me move forward. And you can snap out of it much quicker each time because you're self-assessing. If you don't feel good, assess.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next one, lack of ownership. That's a big one that we see happen a lot. Like blaming everything, the weather, the universe, the recession, the president, coronavirus, blaming everything.
My kids.
The reality is that you are alive today, and therefore if you're alive today, you have an equal opportunity. Unless, going back to the first one, right? Unless you are limited by your beliefs that you can't. However, that is victim mentality, and that is lack of taking ownership. So, know that life doesn't happen to you, it happens because of you.
And for you.
Yeah.
If you literally just change that, like one thing, it automatically makes you feel better. And it's all perspective. So many things that relate to your happiness or your lack thereof have to do with your perspective.
Yep.
Right? Always comes back to that. So if you say, oh, this is happening to me. Why is this happening to me? Good thing, bad things happen to good people. No, like all you have to do is say, why is this happening for me? And then see what that does. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Quitter mentality.
Quitter. Don't be a little quitter.
You quit too soon. And most of the time, people quit right before good things start happening to them.
There's a quote that goes with that.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
It's like just on the brink of success. Like our success is just beyond the failure.
It's like you will, right. It's like you will want to quit the most right before you see. I mean, if you study successful people, I don't know if you do, but we definitely do, because we're going to be on that list because we are here to build a legacy. But like any extremely successful person has gone through the same thing. Like you need to do yourself a favor and study trends, right? Like Colonel whatever Sanders, right? Like he got denied like
at what age?
At like 65.
Hey, can you raise an emoji hand if you saw the Instagram post that we made last night? Because this whole topic is basically there. A little different, but we're kind of going more into detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many people. Anybody who invented anything. Anything.
Graham Bell. Failed 10,000 times.
Anybody who achieved anything great. Any professional athlete that is known globally. Any, light, electricity, right? Cars.
Imagine that, like, the resiliency and persistence that is required. Like, honestly, like, I'm inspired by it, right? Like, to fail 10,000 times. Like, that just means that, like, you have faith that's so big and you believe so much in the story that you tell yourself. However, most of us are sold on our limiting beliefs more on what it is that we're capable of. And that is because, for one, like, we haven't been challenged to think differently. I honestly don't know any other group on Facebook or anybody else who like teaches like that. I mean, and that's not to give ourselves credit, but that's why we're doing it, because it's needed. It's needed. Seriously, like 99% of weight loss is mental. Only 1% is physical.
Guys, Tiffany, you're the only one who read the Instagram post? Okay, everybody's homework. There's 33 people here live. Okay, and Erin, if you did not read it, you need to go read it. It's like you can write down all the things without having to try to remember what we say. But also, now your homework is to show some love in the comments on how you're going to climb to the top.
So when it comes to attitude, right? Like right now we talked about like the negative attitude. Let's talk about the positive attitude real quick. Like, what do you actually need to have in order to persevere? Because this journey requires perseverance, and all of you guys know it. If it was easy, everyone will do it, right? So for one, perseverance. You have to persevere through it.
I have to say something.
Go.
You don't even know what I posted last night, right? You didn't read it, did you?
No.
No. Okay, so I made that post last night, and it was actually a very last minute thing that I didn't expect to do. And Sarit did not even read it, and she's literally like going through the entire post that I made. So it's epic. Anyway, I just keep thinking about things.
I'll check it out later, and if you haven't seen it, then you need to check it out later too.
You also just said, what did you just say?
Perseverance?
Yeah, but there was something that you said too that I wrote in there. I don't remember it now. But it's just a small phrase. Anyways, doesn't matter. Moving forward.
So persevering through tough times. Look, tough times are expected. That's just a part of life. If we didn't have tough times, we didn't have good times. However, most people respond to tough times in a negative way. And that is the issue, right? Persistence. Look, persistence is such a big thing. And under the umbrella of persistence requires discipline, right? And most people give up too soon because they don't have discipline. I believe that discipline is the hardest skill to attain in the 21st century because everything comes up way too fast and way too easy.
And we give up too quick.
Yep.
So you can't build something if you keep stopping and starting over.
Yep.
Right? Imagine building a house and you put up like a couple 2x4s and stuff, and then like it gets all knocked down, and then you come back the next week and you're like, okay, I'm gonna start again. And you put up a few 2x4s and you're like, okay. And then it gets knocked down because you haven't been there for another week. And then you come back and you're like, shit, okay, I gotta start again. That's what yo-yo dieting's like. Or not even yo-yo dieting. I hate the word diet. But yo-yoing your efforts and your weight, right? It's like starting over every time because you gave up too quick.
Yep.
What's up, V?
V.
In the house.
Oh, Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
So persistence, discipline, that's huge. Also, staying positive, like seeing the bright side of things when shit happens. And that goes back to, when shit happens for you, ask yourself, why is this happening for me? Instead of like, well, it's me, this happened to me. So I'm so over that shit. Like, man.
I get it though, because I used
to
say it before.
And me too, but here's the thing, like women are so relentless, but we're so fucking soft mentally.
We're relentless when it comes to
our kids and other people, but not for ourselves.
Yeah, we're relentless for our loved ones, but never for ourselves. I can't say never, actually. We learn to be, and our hope is that you learn to be. Yeah. Relentless, persistent, consistent, positive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those were all in capital, by the way, when I spoke them.
So so all of this goes under the umbrella of attitude. Okay? Like, we all need to not just fix our attitude, but constantly work on it every single day.
For sure. Even us, too.
Yep. If you don't work on it, that's your biggest problem right there.
Sometimes I get a bad attitude. I think for everybody, for their entire life, everybody gets a bad attitude, forever. But we learn how to switch it.
There is one more thing that I just thought about that I want to add that happens way too often, and that is something that I consistently train myself with regards to on a regular basis, and that is refusing to be refused. Think about it. In order to make it big in anything in life, whether it's your job, your career, if you're a business owner in your business, whatever it is that you're doing, people are going to deny you 1,000 times before you are gonna get one yes. But the problem is that way too many people, like, they got refused. They're like, that's it. Okay, like that's no longer an opportunity.
But within this, where do they get refused when they're trying to lose weight? The only person who's going to refuse them would be them. Right?
It's more than just weight loss. It's life. Let's say you want to get a job. You fill out a resume. You got refused. So you're like, I'm not meant to do this. And like,
refuse to be refused.
Don't ever be refused to be refused. Or like, let's say you want to get a date with somebody, and you're like, they're not responding to me. Shit.
Show up at their door.
Fly across the country and go see them. That's what I did for her.
Why are they across the country though? I think that's more rare than.
Well, I know, but still.
Our story is very unique.
Look, for all of y'all who are lesbians, I know you'll fly across the country in a second for a girl. So don't even get me started with it.
Bring the U-Haul key.
Yeah, but like refuse to be refused in any area.
Crazy lesbians be showing up at. I got the truck.
or whether your significant other is not on the same page as you, right? Like, refuse to consider that a no. You gotta be persistent, and that's why all these elements are so intertwined. You know what I mean? So I
know what you mean.
I had to share that.
I know what you mean. So that's attitude.
It's all attitude.
We've just spent like 20 minutes talking about attitude. That could be its own episode. We could do 3 different episodes for all these A's.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it.
Yeah, maybe we should just keep talking about attitude.
Attitude, yeah.
What happens when you get a bad tude? How do you turn it around? That's what we call it, tude.
That's it, yeah. Okay, so we're just working on attitude today?
We're talking about attitude today.
Let's just talk about attitude.
Maybe next Thursday we'll talk about the other one, and then the next one we'll talk about the other one.
You guys have 2 weeks to figure out what's the third one. I almost said that word 2 times already, but I caught myself. So how do you turn it around? How do you change it? So anybody who's in the inner circle, I keep on saying it to you every single week, and you better get this answer right. Otherwise, we're going to repeat it 10 times on our next coaching call. What is the first step to change?
They're going to get it. Crystal going to come in hot. I know it.
Come on.
Flip the script. It's hard. We say a lot of things. We say a lot of things, so it's hard to be
take it one step back. So, flipping the script, something needs. Yes, Jessica Knox got it. Awareness.
There they go. There they go.
You need to become aware in order to flip the script. Okay. So always awareness is number 1. Right. So you need to catch yourself, like, when your energy is off, when you're like either feeling down or you're saying things like, oh, it's because of this that I'm not able to blah, or I feel so-and-so because so-and-so made me feel blah, or I stepped on the scale and I saw blah, therefore I'm blah, right? Like, when when you're having this conversation in your head, because it happens to all of us, right? The first thing that you have to do is, oh shit, What is this attitude that I'm having right now? And then you flip the script and you're like, okay, how can I change it? Now, the biggest thing is that changing it requires you believing it. And most of the time we're not sold on the things that we say. And that is also why a lot of people can have pretty good nutrition but can still struggle with weight, is because deep down they believe themselves to be fat, and it doesn't matter what they say, what they believe is that they're fat. So what do you think is going to be manifested?
We need to have another topic.
Did you just write it down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Brittany, my heart is with you. Like she said, yes, we went food shopping the other day and my husband was like, I don't like this new way of you eating. I want junk. I said, oh, well, I'll do the shopping. Right? So even though you say lol, LOL,
It hurts.
it's hard to do what you know you need and want to do when probably, if not the most important person, one of the most important people in your life literally says, I don't like what you're doing.
Naysayer.
But you know that the thing that you're doing is the best thing for you. How do you deal with that? Like, how do you expect to keep moving forward? Because that's negativity. And that is taking up space for you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think the topic that needs to be had is when you change your behaviors after having been in a relationship. I got it right here.
No, it's another topic.
When you change your lifestyle habits after having been with somebody for a long time and they're not used to those habits and they fell in love with the person and you guys have lived this life and developed these habits as a unit, and when one doesn't want to change and the other one does, what happens? I'm going to say this right now. There's only two ways you grow in a relationship. You grow together or you grow apart.
Yep.
And I'm sorry to say, I'm not sorry actually, but I have to say that is what happens. And when you change your lifestyle, I've seen it before when women decide to change, husband's not on board, they grow apart. Shit, the last thing I want is for people's relationships to be ruined. However, if you're not in the best place for you, and by no means am I saying that like determining your future, Brittany. But what I am saying is you have to do what's best for you regardless, because the only person you wake up with every damn day, no matter what, as long as you wake up, is you. Nobody else is guaranteed. Not your kids, not your spouse, not your parents, nobody, not your BFF. Nobody is guaranteed to be in your life tomorrow except for you, as long as you wake up.
When there is resistance in the thought process of a unit, right? When you're in a relationship, the first thing that has to occur is a clear line of communication. Mm-hmm. That is what will determine whether the unit will last or not. The element of communication. Because if you sweep it under the rug, for one, you're going to evolve apart. And if there will be resistance, what you resist persists. And then that would lead to hatred. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I make what I want to eat for dinner. If my husband wants something else, he can make his own damn food. I love that attitude.
Yeah, great.
Look, when we have kids, I'm going to tell them, look, this is what for dinner. If you don't want it.
But our kids are not going to be like that. Here's why. I feel like a lot of kids are messed up with food is because their parents didn't teach them how to eat clean early enough. If all kids knew was vegetables, guess what? They wouldn't resist it.
True, but when a kid goes to school, do you have control over what they're exposed to?
No.
When a kid goes to their friend's house, do you have control over what they're exposed to?
No.
You have control over who your friends are and what houses your kids go to.
But that's why communication is going to be key at a very young age.
But no matter what, at some point, kid's going to eat an Oreo. Your mom, if we know your mom,
right,
our kids are going to be fed things that are going to expose them to, right? So we can teach them.
Right.
But no matter what, kids want what they want. And it's at some point, a kid's going to fight for some kind of sugary, shitty cereal or fruit by the foot or whatever.
Right, but we will give them the tools so that they can make the choices that are right for them.
What I'm saying is when we sit down at the dinner table and the kids like had Oreos that day and they're like, no, I don't want this because Safta gave me cookies.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, you don't have to eat it.
Right.
But you're not getting no damn cookies. You know what I mean? You are the leader of the house, baby. Come on. Put your big girl pants on.
Okay, on the topic of attitude.
Sorry, I'm reading your guys' comments. Yes, that's what I do with my kids. Husband doesn't like to eat, or he fixes what he wants. Good. I mean, as long as they are like supportive of you doing what you want to do, but when somebody's like, I don't like the way you're doing this, like, get out of here.
Yeah. Also, a part of a good attitude is you guys staying focused regardless. The reason why people blame vacations, work, travel, whatever, is because they're not actually focused. They're being distracted and they're being led by distractions. Next month we're traveling to Miami and I told Erin, I'm like, we're actually gonna take a video of how we approach traveling because I know that this is going to help a lot of people because so many people make the excuse of, I can't because I have to travel a lot for work. No, it's just not a big enough priority for you. So you don't have the tools, so you're being distracted way too easily.
Or when we go on vacation, we just kind of like everything goes out the window.
And again, that's attitude.
Yeah.
It all comes back to attitude. There is a different, like, true food freedom, okay, means being aware of every single action that you take and being able to harmonize what will enhance the current situation that you're in along with your goals.
Are you guys loving this topic today? I'm loving it. If you guys are loving this topic, I want to see rainbow hearts in the comments. Oh yeah. Rainbow hearts. Ooh. That's my favorite.
Which color comes first?
Of the emoji combination. I don't know, just go in the order of the hearts when you click on the emoji thing and you just go boop, 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 boop. Send.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see all the rainbow hearts. Okay. Hashtag Pride Month. Okay. So.
I have one more.
Okay,
with regards to attitude.
Ready, go.
It literally just like ran away from my brain. As you said, ready, go. It's Gwen.
It's Gwen.
What was it? It's gonna come back to me. I know it. I was talking about being distracted.
Vacation, traveling, making a video.
No, it's not about that.
Everything goes out the window when you go on vacation. I want the buffet, all you can eat. We don't need to be eating all we can eat, by the way. We'll be back tomorrow to eat the same amount, in case you were wondering.
Man, it was so good.
Okay, you keep thinking. One of my favorite restaurants as a kid was called Izzy's, Izzys. And did you remember it?
No.
Oh. And it was all you can eat, like Italian. It was like pizza, breadsticks, pastas, salads, ice cream, brownies, desserts. And I would smash. Every time we left that restaurant, I would literally like...
Oh,
need to unbutton my pants. Okay, go. I was filling space. I do good. That's a good story.
Being driven by your ego instead of following your intuition.
Crystal, refresher. Being distracted while traveling is the last thing discussed. Look at all these hearts. You guys are amazing.
Yes, queen. Okay, so being driven by your ego. Woo! And this is why I think that bodybuilding is bullshit, and I will say it again. Because they all follow approaches that are being led by ego. Shit, I just said the word.
You know what though? So I'm not going to discredit their discipline. Because if you want to see discipline, go follow a fucking bodybuilder around for a week.
True.
That.
A professional one though.
Yes. Okay.
Like Whitney Jones, I have mad respect for that girl.
Absolutely. But she's not even a bodybuilder. She's fitness, physique, whatever. She actually does like fitness routines. Like she has to be functional.
Right. But here's the sport of bodybuilding is the sport of basically competing for body composition. So therefore,
who looks the best? Who's the most proportionate? Whose muscles pop the most?
Yeah, it's
whose
based
suit
off
complements their tan.
Right. It's like you win based off of your body composition, not based off of what your body is capable of doing. Mm-hmm. So I would consider what Whitney Jones does as bodybuilding because yes, she does routines, which is amazing because there's some bit of functionability to it. However, she also wins because, we saw her, and she maintains a 365, which requires a high level of discipline. However, most people who go for bodybuilding go for the wrong reasons, not like Whitney Jones, right? So it's like, you look great on stage, but 20 minutes later, you start looking like a balloon for the next 20 years.
That's exactly what I did. I mean, I went because I wanted to get leaner. I wanted to get as lean as I could, and I wanted to get shredded, and that was my motivator. It's like when people sign up for marathons because they want to lose weight. That's not the right reason to sign up for a marathon because you think that something's going to motivate you to do what you need to do to get the real goal that you want, which is not completing a marathon or a bodybuilding competition. That's not the real goal. Yeah. The real goal isn't even weight loss. The real goal is to be fucking happy with yourself. And there's so many things that go into that. And it's good to use things for targets and motivators and whatnot, but let's go on to your...
So the concept of ego, it's like, it's a mountain full of valleys. Right? It's like the example of a marathon. It's like, I'm going to sign up for a marathon because I want to lose weight. And what's going to happen to your life after the marathon's over?
It's like after the one day, you get off stage, you finish the marathon or the half marathon, or whatever it is. Like, it's like everything then just goes shit. It's like you went from 0 discipline to 1,000. And then because that's not sustainable and it doesn't make you happy to do that 24/7, you're not going to keep doing it. And then what you find on the other end is even more disappointing.
However, I'm not saying, so this is not here to discredit the fact that wanting to look good is not good. Mm-mm. However, right, so I want to make sure because the concept of vanity, that's fine. However, when your why is to look good, that's having a why that's based off of your ego. And whenever any sort of change that is led by ego is, for one, not going to get you to where you want, and for two, it's going to be unsustainable. So let's say you're like, I want to lose weight because I want to look good in a bikini. Guess what? You will need to dig deeper, because if you're only digging deep enough for the ego, I'm telling you right now, your attitude is gonna be messed up. Like Whitney Jones is not doing, she doesn't look the way she does or does whatever she does because of her ego. There's a way deeper why for that. Mm-hmm. By the way, we interviewed her too. Actually, I don't think it's on YouTube.
I don't think it is. It was way back in the day. It's at the old house.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I want to say though. It's okay to admire yourself.
Yeah.
It's completely 100% human nature to want to look at yourself, to admire yourself, to whatever, right? And I think that a lot of reason we want to lose weight and we want to change our bodies is so that we like what we see when we look at ourselves, and we can admire ourselves, because we think if we can admire ourselves, other people can. And that makes us happy. But look, I want to know from the moms out there who have handed their kid their phone with the camera open on them, or showed their kid a video of themselves, that kid is completely fascinated by themselves. And they want to watch themselves, and they're so focused on watching themselves. There's something about seeing us. Like, I'm not even, like, I can see myself on the screen, right? Like, I enjoy when I feel good about myself to admire myself. And that's not an arrogant thing. That, I think, is human nature. The problem is that when you look at yourself, you want to admire, but you struggle because you know that you're not looking at you.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. So the reality is that you need to fix your attitude. We all need to fix our attitude, and we all need to fix our attitude by catching ourselves, like as it happens. Like when, let's say, we step on a scale, or we look in front of the mirror, or you know, somebody blows us off when we're driving, right? Like, check yourself, right? Like, awareness is step one. It's like, for one, it's like you're catching yourself in the moment, like acting a certain way. Like, ask yourself, why did this happen for me? Like, right? It is, what am I feeling? And what sort of attitude am I expressing right now? And is this the best that I can do? Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. And here's the thing. If you live in the United States or Canada, you have an equal opportunity, which millions of others don't. So you're literally capable of doing anything. However, you have to believe it, and you need to have a good attitude while working harder than anybody else, which is what nobody wants to hear. Work hard, have a good attitude, expect failure, overcome it. Yes, that all falls under having a good attitude. But think about how fortunate you are, because there's millions of other women in the world who don't even have the opportunity to express themselves, who from the minute that they're born, their life has already been decided. You are capable of anything, but it is your ego and your mindset that's getting in the way. So check yourself every single day when something happens to you by asking yourself, why is this happening for me? Or this is happening because of me. Your weight right now, your body right now, is manifested because of you, because of the thoughts that you took, or the actions that you took or didn't take in order to lead you to the habits that you developed, or the lack of discipline that you either have or don't have to be where you are today. It happened to you, because of you.
I want to respond to Laura's comment. She said, for me, it's confidence and health. Okay, I actually didn't read the confidence part. I don't know why. Health. For my partner, it's all about the health. But boy, it's awesome when you fit in clothes you have not fitted in for years. Yeah, and then what do you do?
It's the feeling of accomplishment.
What do you do when you fit into clothes you haven't fit into for years? You fucking look at yourself in the mirror and you admire. And it's not even just about the shapes. It's about, for one, you accomplished something that was difficult. You overcame. You grew as a human being. All of these things also go into that admiration. Look, I achieved this and I'm very proud of it. And that pride then yields confidence.
Mm-hmm. Confidence is created.
Flex that muscle. Scary danger zone.
Yeah. Scary danger zone. That's right.
Morning, Sterling.
You have to be in it and you have to embrace it. And unless you learn to embrace the suck, you're going to give up too soon. Right? It's all attitude. So today's episode was chapter 1 of 3 of the 3 A's that are required for your success. We hope that you found this useful. Just a couple of things before we close off.
Wait, if you commented with all those beautiful rainbow hearts, look at all you guys. Okay, I'm gonna call you out right now. Teresa, Stacy, Tracy, Erin, Jess, Jeanette, Regina, Dina, Sarah, Darcy, Lauren, Andrea, Sarah Hill, Kristen, Brittany, Leanne. Wow, my heart is so full right now. Crystal, I knew she would be the first, lighting it up. You guys, I want you to partake in the Community Builder Challenge. It is ending tomorrow. Right?
Not only do we want you to, we need you to.
We need you to. You need you to build your home, your family, your community right here on the Erin Sarit page. And we're going to give you prizes. You can call it bribery or you can call it incentive, but we want you and we need you to help us, help you, and help change the community and how they think about food and weight loss in themselves.
Show us that you have a good attitude by partaking, by saying yes. Yes, I'm going to participate.
I'm in.
Right? Like if you just, learn something new, feel like, it touched you in one way or another, added value to your life, then do us a favor and share this gift with the world.
How?
You're going to do this by sharing this video on your wall. Tag us, okay? Say something that's authentic to your heart. Okay, it can be one paragraph or it can be one sentence. However, tag us so we can see it. Okay, and also, once we end this video, you will see on the right hand side that there is a box where you can invite your friends. Literally, all you have to do is click. Right? Like, we know that the topics that we talk about here are just things that we need to be discussed, because in the 21st century, like, nobody will want to tell you this shit. However, that is what's required in order for us to build not just a good community, but a better generation. Like, imagine your kids, like, if you don't know this and you teach your kids like things that you don't know, or they just consume other things, right, that are completely opposite from what it is that you know, what's going to happen? This is not just for us, but this is about the future generation and the next generations, right? We know that it is up to us, right? And 2020 has proven to show that only we are the ones in charge, right? It's how we respond to everything, right? And I truly believe that it's now more than ever, leadership is what this world needs. So, like, you are the leader of your life. If you found this useful, like, spread it to more people. Yes, they're probably going to say no or refuse or whatever, but hey, if they deny themselves of this gift, that's up to them. Remember, one of the great elements of having a positive attitude is refusing to be refused. So we ask you to refuse to be refused today, and do whatever it takes to make this world a better place. We're going to keep on showing up for you guys, of course, because we love you, but we need your help. Takes an army to move a mountain. Also, so Community Builder Challenge ends this Friday. Tomorrow. And then we'll announce the winner on Monday.
And there are 2 prizes. There's 2 winners, a first and a second place. First place is going to get the X Endurance Lean Plus supplement to promote and encourage fat loss, which actually I tested it and it did well on me. So there's that. And then also a 30-minute coaching strategy call. Second place gets the coaching strategy call. So there are incentives for you guys to share and post. We do want to show our appreciation for every share, every post, every like, every comment, every person you bring into this community from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. Because of you, there are 33 people here live. Because of you, we just hit like 3,300 people in our group, right? Road to 10K, road to 100K. I want to blow shit up.
Yeah, we have to, you guys.
And bring
I'm telling you, we're gonna go up against the FDA and call them out on their bullshit.
And we want to bring you along with us.
Yep. I want you guys to see us being refused and us overcoming that shit. But it takes an army to move a mountain. Also, speaking of adversity and a good attitude, tomorrow we have a very special guest interview with a former NFL player, Mr. Anthony Trucks.
You're going to seriously want to be there for this.
You definitely want to be there for this. Something that I realized on the live interviews, you guys, live interviews go at 6 a.m., not 6:30 a.m. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because on the last couple interviews, I see like half of you guys who do show up for the interviews show up 30 minutes late. And that's fine if that's when you wake up. However, I think that you'll be able to get so much more out of this if you will actually catch it from the beginning. Yeah. Because at the beginning, that's when I ask them questions about how did they get there. Look, and we really go through like all the things that led to where they are.
And tomorrow, I truly believe every single second you're going to want to be there for.
Yeah.
You just said yesterday, you were like, oh, guess who Anthony was interviewed by? Tom Ballieu. Which is awesome. He's legit. He's also been referred to by one of our friends as the next Tony Robbins. But you know what? Nobody will ever be Tony. Nobody will ever be you. Nobody will ever be me. Nobody will ever be Sarit. Except for those each individual people. Because you are unique and you are you. And that is fucking awesome. But tomorrow, you're going to want to see that interview.
And I'm not sure if you guys heard, like, whoever watched Ty's interview, but I asked him a question that he's never been asked before. And when I set my questions, like, my intention is to dig deep and really make them think. And I'm going to do the same for Anthony tomorrow. Yeah. So, it's going to be epic. We definitely want to see you there. And if you know anybody else who would benefit, again, like today is the perfect day to actually invite as many people to the group as possible because tomorrow's interview is going to be rad. And I know that so many people will want to listen to this and they will regret not being there. So remember, it's at 6 a.m. We'll set a post later on today so that you'll be able to enter it. One last thing, I know we're saying a lot. You guys should be probably taking notes if you're not.
About the relationship thing.
Yeah.
Can we make a different post about it? Like we've given you so many action steps at this point.
Fine.
Just go share, invite your friends, and keep an eye on the page later today because we're going to make some posts with a couple other announcements and things. So go take care of that. Have yourself an amazing Thursday. It's over the hump day, and we will catch you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Be there or be
square.
You're never a loser. I'm just kidding. See you tomorrow.
And have a great attitude today.
Bye.